Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Texas and Governor Abbott and how some Republicans are starting to see through the political stunts that are being performed in an attempt to motivate the base, and how Republicans are starting to see Abbott for who he is. If you were one of those who believed there was no way that any Texas program could be worse than Operation Lone Star, you were proven wrong last week. Operation Lone Star is the governor's attempt at a mobilization within Texas to secure the border, which had its press release of successes ripped apart by ProPublica and Texas Tribune. If you're not following those outlets, they're worth following. In an attempt to, regain the momentum, he instituted what amounted to a second customs checkpoint ran by the state in Texas, checking semi-trucks under the guise of border security, just like Operation Lone Star. The end result of which, it has now been shut down, but during that time, lost about $250 million in fruits and vegetables alone. That's the cost. Not the cost of actually running the operation. That's the cost that the average person in Texas is going to have to deal with because he wants to motivate the base. It led to fruit and veggies just rotting in the trucks because they didn't have the logistics worked out. This is this number of $240 million. That doesn't include the downstream losses from parts that were coming over the border that didn't make it to where they were supposed to go in time, and the loss of money there. That is just fruits and vegetables. It was such an unmitigated disaster that even Republicans began to speak out pretty vocally about it. I don't think anybody said it better than the Republican Agriculture Commissioner there in Texas, Sid Miller, who said, "This policy will hurt Texas and American consumers by driving up already skyrocketing food prices, worsening ongoing supply chain disruptions, causing massive produce shortages, and saddling Texas and American companies with untold losses." We're starting to get the tell on this part and how much it actually costs, and it's a lot. "If your policy continues, within the next week, I predict that Texas consumers will be paying $2 for a lime and $5 for an avocado. The following week, Texas produce shelves will be empty for the third time because of policies implemented by your administration. Your inspection protocol is not stopping illegal immigration. It is stopping food from getting to grocery store shelves and in many cases causing food to rot in trucks, many of which are owned by Texas and other American companies. It is simply political theater. The people of Texas deserve better." That's a Republican. You don't even want to hear what the Democrats are saying. What seems to have happened is that Governor Abbott realized that former President Trump was able to tap into the bigotry that gets directed at those coming across the border. And he wants to duplicate it because his administration has not been successful by most counts. Between the power grid and Operation Lone Star and now this and a litany of other stuff, the people in Texas, even Republicans, are starting to speak less than favorably of the governor. It's also important to note that it seems like at least some Republicans are starting to see these little PR stunts, these little political stunts, for what they are, which is good news, because for years now, the Republican Party has confused these kinds of political stunts with actual leadership. I'm hopeful that they're starting to realize these stunts don't do anything except for hurt the people in that area. It is incredibly rare that any of these little political stunts have any metrics to gauge their success. They just order something to be done and then walk out and say they accomplished something. But anytime there's any examination of what actually occurred and what they claimed, it casts a lot of doubt on the efficiency of these little projects. Those people in Texas, you've got your work cut out for you, because Governor Abbott has name recognition going for him, and he has that R after his name. But I happen to agree with Sid Miller on this, not something I ever expected to say. I think Texans deserve better. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.